Today, we're handing you the blueprint to master a new language. But here's the thing. You're not going to be a student in some stuffy classroom. Nope. You're going to be the architect of your own fluency. For so many of us, the answer to this is a huge yes, right? We've been told there's pretty much only one path up that mountain: traditional classes, tough exams, and super expensive textbooks. But let's be honest, that path is often really frustrating, and it doesn't even work that well for, real-world communication. So you study for weeks, you take one of those big standardized speaking tests, and you walk away with a number, like 5.5. And it can feel like a total failure. But what does that number really mean? It doesn't tell you anything about your ability to share a story, or to get a joke, or to actually genuinely connect with another person. So today, we're just throwing out that old, rigid playbook. We're getting away from the expensive, kind of judgmental classroom, and we're embracing a modern method. One that's flexible, often completely free, and driven by a whole global community. This is what language learning looks like in the age of the internet. Okay, so this is a huge mindset shift. You are no longer just a student, passively getting information. You are the architect. Your job is to design and build a learning environment that actually works for you. And that all starts with a solid foundation. And that foundation is built on 3 core habits. First, you've got to curate your input. Immerse yourself. Change your phone's language. Watch YouTube videos. Listen to podcasts. But about topics you actually enjoy. Second, embrace the silent period. Seriously, don't pressure yourself to speak from day one. Just listen. Absorb. And third, build micro habits. Forget cramming for hours. Just 15 focused minutes every single day is so much more powerful because it builds durable neural pathways. It literally rewires your brain for the new language. This idea right here, it redefines the whole goal. Fluency isn't about perfection. It's not about memorizing a dictionary. It's about having the confidence to jump into a conversation and navigate it, even when you don't know every single word. It's about communication, not just memorization. So once you've built that solid foundation of input, how do you make the leap to actually producing the language yourself? How do you break the silence? Well, the biggest barrier isn't your vocabulary or your grammar, it's the fear. It's that little voice in your head telling you to just stay quiet until you're perfect. The real secret to fluency is learning to ignore that voice and just embrace being imperfect. And here is a fantastic, super practical way to do that. It's called the shadowing technique. It's so simple. You listen, you immediately repeat what you hear, and you try to mimic everything, not just the words, but the rhythm, the music of the language. This isn't just about memory, it's physical. You're actually training the muscles in your face to make new, unfamiliar sounds until they start to feel natural. But you can't just talk to yourself all the time. You need a community, and you don't have to move to another country to find one. Your practice partners are online. You can dive into Discord servers, find active WhatsApp channels, or connect with other learners to create a really low-pressure space where everyone is just growing together. Now for your digital toolkit. These are some powerful and, like we said, often free tools you can use. Mastery does not have to break the bank. There are just so many resources out there that cost nothing. You've got language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk that connect you with native speakers. YouTube is, it's arguably the greatest language tool ever created. And then there's self-talk. I know it sounds a little weird, but narrating your day out loud is an incredible way to find your vocabulary gaps. The moment you're cooking and you realize you don't know the word for spatula, you look it up and boom, that word is yours forever. But beyond these free resources, the true frontier of language learning, where things are getting really exciting, is being powered by technology, specifically artificial intelligence. We're talking about conversational AI. This isn't just some recording. It uses sophisticated speech recognition to understand what you're saying and natural language processing to understand how you're saying it. You can have a dynamic, spoken conversation, and it gives you instant, completely judgment-free feedback on your pronunciation and grammar. It's an absolute game changer for building speaking confidence. Finally, let's talk about reaching full fluency. There's a really powerful way to solidify everything you've learned and to complete that journey from student to expert. You teach it to someone else. Yeah. When you have to explain a concept, it forces you to understand it on a much, much deeper level. I mean, think about it. To teach someone the difference between por and para in Spanish, you can't just repeat some rules. You have to truly internalize the logic. This means you ditch the complex grammar drills for functional, real-world stuff, and you make your students' confidence the #1 priority. So just remember that learning a language on your own is a journey of trial and error. Every mistake is not a failure, it's a necessary stepping stone on your path to fluency. So embrace them. So there you have it. The philosophy, the techniques, the tools. The entire blueprint is right here in your hands. The only question left is, what world will you build with it?